Welcome to Whole and Healthy Cooking with Chef Val. I am Chef Valerie Wilson. I've been teaching healthy, whole foods cooking classes since 1997. I'm the author of 6 cookbooks, and you can find out about all I have to offer on my website, macroval.com. It's fall season, and you know what that means. My favorite winter squash is available. Delicata. This is a delicata squash. It's yellow and it has green lines in it. Maybe you've seen it at the stores or your local farmer's market. Make sure you pick one of these up. Or you might want to get a half a dozen. This is the sweetest of the winter squashes. It's relatively small in size too, so it's easy to work with. Some of those other squashes that are really big can be kind of cumbersome to try and work with. So I wanted to tell you some easy ways to work with the delicata squash and also the health benefits of it. So the first thing that you want to do when you go and you're purchasing the squash is to make sure that it's nice and firm and there isn't any soft spots on it. Soft spots means that it's old and might be starting to get bad, and we don't want that. I also look for squashes that don't have very many blemishes on them. Although this has a little bit of blemish, that's not bad. You can eat the skin of a delicata squash. So if there are no blemishes on it, you can go ahead and eat the skin. If there's some of those bumps on it, which I'm calling blemishes, sometimes they can be not palatable. They're kind of crunchy, don't taste good. One of my favorite things to do with the delicata squash is to cut it in half and bake it in the oven, which is what I've done with this beautiful delicata squash right here. I like to cook it until it starts to get caramelized and golden brown. So the bottom of it kind of gets, caramelized. Yum. Natural sweetness. Look at that. Absolutely sweet and delicious. This is what it looks like. Now, how are you going to work with it? All right, so let's go to the cutting board. Now remember, whenever you chop something, you always put a little bit of water on the cutting board. It fills in the pores of the wood, so the wood doesn't absorb the color and the odor of the vegetable you're chopping. So your cutting board always stays nice and clean and it doesn't smell. For the squash, I usually cut it in half oblong, especially if I'm going to do a stuffed squash. It's very pretty. So we take the knife, make sure you have a nice sharp vegetable knife, and I start rocking it back and forth, trying to get through the skin. It can be relatively hard, although it's not too bad. All right. Sometimes I bang it. Are you ready? I'm going to bang it. There we go. And the knife is going right through it when I do that. And then I can just kind of work with it. Again, winter squashes can be kind of tough, although because this one's small, it's relatively easy to work with. So what I did was I turned it on its side and I push the knife through it, see? And it comes open like so. Beautiful delicata squash. These seeds inside, you can save them and then plant them next year, and hopefully you can grow some delicata squash. Or if you don't want to save them, you can just put it flat side down on a cookie sheet. I use a piece of parchment paper for easy cleanup, and then when it's time to eat it, you just discard the seeds. Okay, once they're baked, you don't really eat them. I have seen some people that eat them, but I don't. And then you have this beautiful, perfect shell for a stuffed squash, and the flesh is just soft and sweet. Now, back to the one that's not baked in the oven. Let's say you were going to use this in a different recipe, because baked squash I love, but you could put this squash into a soup, or you could do like a stew or something like that. So then you would have to get rid of these seeds. And these seeds were not baked in the oven. So these would be the seeds that you would want to keep to plant next year, right? The ones that are baked in the oven are not going to grow a plant for you. But this one will grow a plant for you. Get rid of it like so. You can also take these seeds and toast them in the oven like you do pumpkin seeds until they're crunchy. They're very delicious like that too. So now we have the squash. You're going to cut the ends off because there's usually a little nodule thing right there. Now, like I said, this one has a blemish on it right here. So we can cut that off with the knife, like so. Again, as I said, the skin, once you cook the skin, it's nice and soft. So you don't have to peel this. You can peel it if you don't like the texture of the skin for some reason, but you don't have to. Always when you chop your vegetable, you put the flat side of the vegetable down. That's what I got with the Delicata squash. And you cut it like so. Relatively easy to cut. And then if you want to cut it to put it in a soup, you just cut it in small little pieces like so. Okay. If you wanted to do a vegetable stew, you might want to cut it in bigger pieces because a stew, usually you get bigger pieces. Okay. So why is it important to eat winter squashes? Well, first and foremost, they come out of the garden at a time when it's starting to get cooler outside, which means they can help keep your body warm. Remember, nature doesn't make any mistakes. And all of our ancient ancestors that lived really close to nature, they knew that, which is why they ate according to the seasons. So this is a winter squash, and we're in fall season right now, so it's going to help you keep your body temperature warmer. And these squashes also would stay in fruit cellars for a long time. So again, our ancestors were able to eat this all during the winter months to help keep them warmer. Winter squashes are high in vitamin C, contain potassium and iron, help to boost your immune system. So again, you can stay healthy. They're very high in fiber, which we know is good for your digestive tract. High fiber food is good for your heart. It's good for your circulatory system. And because this Delicata squash is so beautiful and sweet, it feeds and nurtures your spleen, pancreas, and stomach. And so those are the organs that you need to strengthen in order for your body to be able to handle stress. So Delicata squash can be our anti-stress food also. So that's Delicata squash. If you get a chance, please go pick some up and try some. Again, this is my favorite of the winter squashes. I wait every year for this squash to come into season, and it's absolutely sweet and delicious. Thank you so much for watching. Please visit my website, macroval.com. You can attend one of my upcoming cooking classes. I teach both virtual, so you can attend no matter where you are, and also in person. I am the author of 6 cookbooks, so make sure you check those out. And I also offer lifestyle counseling. So we could set up a consultation where I can help you with any health issues you might be suffering with. And I work directly with food. Remember to subscribe to my channel, like the video, and please share the video. Remember, your journey to eating healthy begins with one small step. Let's make that small step Delicata squash.